the Senate was poised to quickly approve two new museums for the Smithsonian Institution. One would honor American women, the other Latino Americans.
But one person, just one, scuttled the whole thing, at least for now. And that person is from Utah. Fox 13's Max Roth joins us in studio this evening with the story. Max.
Yeah, thanks, Bob and Amy. You know, these bills were sponsored by members of both parties. The House approved them on what they call a voice vote. So in the Senate floor, they were scheduled for what they call a consensus vote. It's a way to approve a popular measure unanimously. But what that did is it gave Utah Senator Mike Lee the power to stop the whole thing.
The world's largest museum system, the Smithsonian, chronicles the stories of African Americans and Native Americans. Republican John Cornyn of Texas and Democrat Bob Menendez of New Jersey thought adding Latino Americans was all but done.
Approximately 40% of our population is composed of Latinos in Texas. This is long overdue.
Republican Utah Senator Mike Lee disagreed.
The Smithsonian Institution should not have an exclusive museum of American Latino history, or a museum of women's history, or a museum of American men's history, or Mormon history, or Asian American history, or Catholic history. American history is an inclusive story that should unite us.
The rules of the Senate let Lee rule the day.
One Republican colleague from Utah stands in the way of the hopes and dreams and aspirations of seeing Americans of Latino descent having their dreams fulfilled and being recognized, just being recognized.
Women's Museum sponsor, Republican Susan Collins of Maine, saw what was coming.
Is there objection?
I object.
Madam President, I think this is a sad moment.
I think it's a black eye on the state of Utah.
On Fox 13's Live at Noon, State Senator Luz Escamilla, a Democrat from Salt Lake City, objected most to this argument, where Lee explains why he does support museums for African Americans and Native Americans.
African Americans and American Indians have a unique place in that story, in that they were rather uniquely, deliberately, systemically excluded from it. Unlike many other groups, they were persecuted, and they were essentially written out of our national story.
In a state that he represents, where the vast majority of the ethnic and racial minority community at 15% is the Hispanic Latino community, it's shocking.
We did reach out to Lee for this story. His office referred us to the speeches on the Senate floor that we shared with you there. Now, these museums are likely to get approved in the future, but it might not be until next year, and then they'd have to restart the entire House and Senate process because it's a new Congress sworn in then. Live in studio, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.